My name is Gerard Magee. I was baptized with the name of Thomas, and that's what I go by now today. My journey into Orthodoxy started from a different faith. Both my parents were Baptist. I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, and that was all I really knew. Over the years, I kind of started to have questions. I wanted to find out a little bit more. I wanted to get a deeper understanding. If you fast forward to the time that I met my wife, Catalina was born in Romania, and she was born of the Eastern Orthodox faith. She is the first person to kind of open my eyes to that religion. In 2010, I was injured in a really bad house fire. It was an accident with a fireplace, and it nearly claimed my life. I was burned, second and third degree burns on about 35% of my body. I was in a coma for 3 weeks. The doctors told my wife that I wasn't going to survive, and naturally she started to pray. Some of the things that she did, more importantly, was she asked different priests and fathers that were in the area, there in Germany where we lived, if they could come to pray over me and with me as well. None of the priests or the pastors in the area seemed to have any time to come to see me there, with the exception of one Orthodox priest. He came, and he came often. He was there to pray with my wife and her mother and her sister on a daily basis, basically until I awoke from the coma. When I awoke from the coma, the first thing that I saw was several icons. Specifically, Virgin Mary was the largest one that was at the foot of my bed. And I remember thinking, even though I wasn't technically out of the woods yet, that I was going to be just fine. There was a peace that I kind of felt there. I was still disfigured, and I had an overall feeling that I was at peace. I was fine, I was protected. Almost as though there was a veil there over me to kind of help me through whatever the situation brought. It was at that time I started to speak with that priest that came, and he really opened my eyes to some of the things. He didn't tell me that converting to Orthodoxy was going to be a cure-all and it was going to save my life, but he let me know that through that faith, God would always be there for me regardless. As I asked him some of the questions that previous priests and Baptist reverends weren't able to answer, he seemed to have the answers that not just made me fulfilled, but they also made me curious. They made me want to learn more. That was really what really got me into the Eastern Orthodox faith. I started to go to liturgy with the wife, and the interesting thing was when I first started to go, it was not in English at all. Every time we'd go, despite the fact that I couldn't necessarily understand all the language, it was such a warm and inviting place. The choir was amazing. It sounded like angels singing. The individuals welcomed me with open arms. The priests or monks that I encountered, they all just 100% accommodating, and they wanted me to be there, and it really felt like I was home, for lack of a better term. And I started to realize as I learned more and more that I was. Eastern Orthodox faith is a faith for all. It's not an individual thing, and I know a lot of Westerners will look at the faith as though it's a little bit foreign. They keep it at arm's length because they were unfamiliar with some of the concepts and they don't really understand exactly what's going on. But I can promise you that once you open that door, the love and the feelings of God just flow through. And there's no other explanation for it other than it's really the first and the real true church. I know that now more than ever as I continue to go on my journey. I'll just continue to tell that to anybody who wants to listen, and even some who don't. But the Eastern Orthodox faith in the church has given me a different purpose. I feel like it's a more godly purpose. So each and every day, I feel like there is a reason for me to exist and to kind of go through every day. That is the journey that I've been on. I've enjoyed it, and I look forward to continuing down this path. And I'm always willing to talk to folks about my story and to hear theirs as well. I'm very excited and blessed to have found Eastern Orthodox Christianity, and I'll continue to be that way for the rest of my life.